Is it an overreaction to call the Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl contenders? This is the gray area right here on 105.3 The Fan. Of course, my name is Kevin Gray. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to hit that subscribe button right there for all things 105.3 The Fan here on YouTube. You can catch me on your home of the Dallas Cowboys and Texas Rangers 105.3 The Fan every single weekend with my partner, the two-time Hall of Famer, Chris Arnold. The Dallas Cowboys moved to 3-1 on the young season after beating the Carolina Panthers 36-28. Dak Prescott throws for 4 touchdown passes. Ezekiel Elliott runs for 143 yards, averaging 7.2 yards per carry, including a 47-yard burst that led to a touchdown. The Dallas Cowboys get 5 sacks on the day, including 2 from Randy Gregory. Trayvon Diggs continues to be stellar at the cornerback position. He gets 2 more interceptions against the Carolina Panthers to give him a total of 5 interceptions through 4 games on the season. The reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Month, continuing to pick up where he left off at the beginning of September and in October, already making a case to be a 2-time NFC Defensive Player of the Month. You saw contributions from guys like Osa Odighizuwa continue to play well in the middle. Micah Parsons, especially in the second half, getting after the Carolina Panthers offensive line, rushing up the middle. Dan Quinn dialing up some creativity on the defensive side to make things difficult for the Carolina Panthers. The Cowboys outscore the Panthers 20-0 in the third quarter alone to break the game wide open. While you didn't like the way that they necessarily finished the game, you do like the fact that the Dallas Cowboys used a punishing running attack and timely passing by one Rain Dakota Prescott to put them in position to move to 3-1 on the season. Trayvon Diggs continues to be the story on the defensive side, playing a terrific cornerback and putting himself in position as one of the best corners, if not the best corner, through the first 4 weeks of the season for the Dallas Cowboys. Conversely, on the offensive end, the Dallas Cowboys moved to 27-0 under Dak Prescott when they run the ball more than they actually pass it. Dak Prescott only threw the ball 22 times on Sunday. Meanwhile, the Dallas Cowboys ran the ball 34 times. That was led by Ezekiel Elliott, who continues his revitalization as the number 1 back on this team. You saw him run with a violence and a patience and a ferocity that has marked his season this year, and a resurgent Ezekiel Elliott continuing to put this running game on his back, doing anything and everything that he can to remind us that he is still one of the best running backs in the NFL. Give credit to the offensive line for continuing to play well. Terrence Steele continues to hold up on that right side as La'el Collins gets ready to come back in the next couple of games after dealing with the suspension. Zach Martin continues to be well. Zach Martin. And the rest of the offensive line, including Connor McGovern lining up at fullback a few times, continues to give Kellen Moore the stability on that offensive line to allow Dak Prescott to get the ball to his playmakers. Amari Cooper gutted it out. Another terrific performance, dealing with a cracked rib, dealing with some hamstring tightness, caught a touchdown pass on a beautiful 35-yard dime from Dak Prescott. All things seem to be clicking on all cylinders for the Dallas Cowboys. The defense is stepping up, creating pressure on the quarterback. They're forcing turnovers. They're second in the NFL in turnovers, just behind the Buffalo Bills. Dak Prescott's playing at an MVP-like level with already 10 touchdown passes through 4 games this season. It seems like all things are working together for the good of this Dallas Cowboy football team. But does that mean they are legitimate Super Bowl contenders? Well, you say, Kevin, they've got a pretty easy schedule. They're going to be playing the Giants coming up here next week, and it's a favorable schedule until they see teams like the Chiefs and the Raiders a little bit later on in the season. They might have an opportunity to put some distance between themselves and the Washington football team. It appears they're playing defensively the way that you would want to, with fast, confident play week in and week out, led by their defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn, who has already put himself in position as NFL Assistant of the Year already, the biggest free agent acquisition for the Cowboys this offseason. Continues to pay dividends for this football team. They're scoring at a high rate. They're defending. They're getting after the quarterback. They're taking the football away. They're doing all the things habit-wise that you would want good football teams to do, legitimate Super Bowl contenders to do. Play complementary football, take advantage of turnovers, and put points on the board because of those turnovers, and more importantly, put yourself in position week over week to adjust to other teams and what they're doing to get the most out of your offense, and defensively do what you can to force turnovers and take the football away to give that offense opportunities to score points. So I guess I'm saying it's not an overreaction to think that the Dallas Cowboys are a legitimate Super Bowl contender. You say, Kevin, don't get over your skis on this team just yet. They've still got a ways to go, some things to clean up. Mike McCarthy and his questionable clock management at times. John Bones Fossil likes to be the star at times when it comes to special teams. But overall, when you look at the totality of this football team, they present themselves as a team that can make a deep playoff run in the NFC. I know what the Arizona Cardinals are doing after they lambasted the Los Angeles Rams this past week, and I know teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and others are looming large in the NFC. But when you play the Super Bowl champs as close as the Cowboys did in their opening night matchup on Thursday Night Football, then backed it up with 3 straight wins, especially in dominant fashion over the Philadelphia Eagles, and then dominating the Carolina Panthers until they let them back in it late into the fourth quarter, they give you an idea that this team could actually be legitimate going forward for the rest of the season if they continue to play the kind of football that they've been playing through the first 4 weeks. The confidence of this team is growing. Even Amari Cooper said it after the game that he feels like something is quote-unquote special happening with this Cowboys football team. They're playing with a trust and a togetherness that marks championship teams, or at least the aspirations of championship teams. And if that's the case, then you should feel a little bit better about what this Cowboys team has been putting on the field through the first 4 weeks, despite the fact that Mike McCarthy does his best at times to sabotage football games with his questionable clock management and decision-making. But if that gets cleaned up and the Dak Prescott-led offense continues to score points the way that they have been, meanwhile the defense continues to get pressure, this team has a chance to make a deep run. Now, here's what's ironic about all this. The Cowboys are doing this with no Leo Collins, no Michael Gallup on the offensive end, no Donovan Wilson, no DeMarcus Lawrence, no Neville Gallimore on the defensive end. They're getting contributions from guys like Jaron Kearse, who have been spectacular through the first 4 games. Osa Odighizuwa, Chauncey Golston making his presence felt on Sunday. Randy Gregory continuing to do his thing, and Micah Parsons being the all-world stud linebacker / defensive end / safety / whatever you want to use him as. He's a defensive weapon that's changed the entire trajectory of this Cowboys defense. And if all that continues to play out, and I know it's a big if when it comes to these Dallas Cowboys, you should have confidence that this team will continue to put themselves in position not only to win the NFC East, but if they're good enough, maybe home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs. That's the kind of team that we're starting to think about when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. All the adversity that they went through last year, it appears it has set them up to be more mentally tougher and to be a more emotionally mature football team that handles pressure and adversity much better this year. And give credit, yes, to Mike McCarthy. Good coaches put their coordinators in positions to succeed by allowing them to get the most out of their players. You can say what you want about Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy's been able to empower his coaches to do just that, and Dan Quinn and Kellen Moore are coaching their tails off week over week. Again, it's not too early to think that this Cowboys team could be a legitimate Super Bowl contender. All you need in today's NFL is an average NFL defense, and if the Cowboys can remain such and even a little bit above average, you know when this offense stays healthy, they're going to put points on the board. So I guess Cowboys fans, you get something to look forward to throughout the rest of the season. A potential legitimate Super Bowl contender may be residing in AT&T Stadium. We'll see if they can continue to back that up when they take on the New York Football Giants on Sunday to complete the 3rd game of their 3-game homestand. If they do, the Cowboys would be at 4-1 and potentially put a stranglehold on the NFC East. And that's a good way to get yourself in the tournament and then think that this team could continue to move forward. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to hit that subscribe button right there for all things 105.3 The Fan here on YouTube. My name is Kevin Gray. This has been another episode of The Gray Area. I'll talk to you later. Peace.